So I just wanted to start, like I said, a few minutes early because one, this is such just a hefty topic. Um, this topic is so important to me, and I'll just give a little insight into why, because that's not part of like this first presentation. Um, but when I have sat here in the last year and really looked at why are coaches not making money and what's really going on and what am I not teaching, I sat and went back to like the beginning stages of my business and sat there and thought, in those beginning stages of my business, what was going on and what was I being told and what was I not being told? And for many of us in the beginning stages, we were told to just go out there and meet people and talk about what was important to us and talk about what was comfortable to us and what was our story. And in the world of funnels, which I teach about a lot, and we're going to talk about that tonight, but the funnel that I built was not one from even strategy. It was built from an organic place. So we are going to be officially, like I said, starting at 7. But I really wanted to just give you a little background into why this is so important to me. I wanted to go back to basics. So I want everyone who is on here now, on our webinar, and if you're on Facebook or you're seeing this anywhere after, whether it's YouTube or maybe you find this like later on Facebook or something, please comment under and tell me, are you just ready to go back to the basics? So if you're on the webinar now, type basics right in the comment section, because I just want to see like if you're in the same place. And I'm going to just define what that means. It means that you feel like you're spinning your wheels in this online space, and you just may either want to like quit, or you're just like, I don't know if I can sustain at this for too much longer. That's number one. Number two is that you're like, I'm a 9-to-5er. So drop a 2 if you are a 9-to-5er, you're a caretaker, you're a mom. This is your second job. Maybe it's not even 9-to-5, but you're an autoimmune warrior, which was my thing. I was a mom and an autoimmune warrior. And I was like, how am I going to do this business? Let me just get comfortable, because we're all family here. And that's how I look at all of you guys. Like, I'm a health coach, gone business coach. I did not have a virtual assistant team. I didn't come to this business with money in the pocket. I came actually with 60 grand in debt. And that just increased as I started to build my business. So if you are in that place where you're like, I feel like I've been doing everything right, and yet my costs still continue to go up, I want to just teach you some strategies that I use that were more simplified. And they weren't, even though they're about the funnel, because a funnel is really just a conversation, and a conversation where somebody gets to know you, and then they get to know this next part of you and this next part of you. And it's like a marriage. So I want you tonight to really think about first why you got here. And I don't mean just like you woke up and you're like, I want to become a coach. Like, really, like why you became either a health coach or a nutritionist or a wellness advocate, or let's just say anyone in the health and wellness field. I want you to actually drop that in the comments. Was it because you were suffering? Was it because someone you love or love is suffering? What was this motivating factor? And, just take like a second to breathe and think about that, because that is why you're here. That is your motivating factor. So whether it's your own journey or whether it's helping somebody else, or maybe you're just irritated and angry at the system, all of it applies. I also want you to adopt this word, unlearn. It's a word that I am just like saying to myself on a daily basis. Unlearn, unhustle. Like I do believe, and I will say this because you guys know this about me, I do not BS. If you're new here and you have not met me, drop new in the comments. If you've been around the block and you know some things about me, you guys know I do not lie or BS about what it takes to build a business. So let me just give a quick, for the newbies here, and welcome, is that nothing in business is easy. I've built multiple six-figure businesses. I was in commercial real estate before, and way before like the internet was how it is. And it's not easy. I had to work and I had to put in time. So don't just believe that there is this one blueprint or this one Facebook ad or, this one course that's going to like magically make it all work. It doesn't. And I fell for that too. And I felt defeated and I felt like, did everyone else get the rule book but me? The truth is this. No, you're not alone. Everyone struggles. Everyone feels that way. People just don't talk about it. They talk about the end number. And so that's why you'll hear me always talk about the reality of what it takes to build a business, and especially one in the health and wellness industry. So I want to just kick off this night. Again, I want to thank you. I don't want to keep you so long tonight because it's Thursday. We're also health coaches. We need downtime. But I do want to get really down to specifics and basics. So just bear with me 1 second while I get this going for 1 second. The handy dandy, share my screen. Okay, so we are going to be focusing on niche. Now, what I want you to understand about niche is that in year one of my business, and I talk to coaches, so please also in the comment section, if you want to drop where you went to school. I've talked to coaches of every different school. I work with functional medicine doctors. I work with nurses, doctors, chiropractors. So don't think that anyone comes out of school and is like, I know how to market and get to a six-figure business. Everyone says to me, I went to school, so glad I found you. I've been trying to create my signature business for 6 months. I'm pulling my hair out, or I just don't have time because I homeschool. We are all time deficient. The biggest problem though is that we come into this business and really the time that we have to spend is what? Being in front of people, or spending the time to figure out what our people want. We don't just graduate and know what is our niche. We know our story. And the thing that has been problematic is we've deviated from that because either one, and feel free, please, the more honest you are, we think that we are either an imposter, we don't think that our story is enough, right? We think that we are what? Say it. We have not been, I don't say the word healed ever, but we think we've not been fixed. Our condition is not gone. So we don't think that we can coach somebody. That's incorrect. Your niche, and do not think that your niche depends on a logo or the colors on your site or defining a brand worksheet. Your niche is your story. Your niche is who you are. It's the words that come out of your mouth. So when you're building a business, and that's why you're going to hear from Katrina on day 5, who talked about buying, and she bought from amazing gurus, like the best of the best people that I say, if you're going to buy launch, like go to these very expensive courses. Problem was, she went and picked like a niche that she was told to do. Pick weight loss because that's marketable. How many of you have been told that? Or you think that's what you should pick because it's the easier niche? Raise your hand. We've all been there. I thought that too. And I was like, what do I do? You're going to hear how Katrina, once we even had, it was like a 30-minute talk about just her soul and what she really wanted to do, how she was able to develop a business that was really in alignment with her. So I want you to like let go of this dogmatic thinking, because your business is so completely different. Some of you are going to be amazing online business people. Some of you are not. It's not that you don't have an it factor. It's that the online space either is going to take time for you to cultivate, like it did for me. It took me a few years to really learn how to communicate, how to be a storyteller online. And so I worked offline. So this course, what we're going to talk about is not just about being a six-figure earner and nailing down your niche. It's going to be about how do you really develop a business that works for you when there's so many different compelling, marketing. You can be done this way. You can get 30, clients in this amount of time. You can get this. So the biggest thing that I want to break down is compartmentalize your business. If you can compartmentalize your business, it will be achievable. And you can do it even in an hour morning, even in an additional 3 hours on the weekend. You can start to time block during the day and start to understand not only what your niche needs, but maybe that it's actually not really working for you right now and you're just spinning your wheels. So the components of a six-figure business, and keep in mind, that is duplicatable. Once you get to even, let's say, 20, 30, 40, 50, you're duplicating a process, you're expanding. So one, it starts with opt-in freebies. Even if you work offline, and please drop in the comments if you work offline, because I want to see how many of you do you feel work better offline, and how many of you actually are online, or you desire to work online. And when I say online, that means you're launching groups online. That means that you are doing everything online. So when I say one-on-one, one-on-one has two different components. I had a thriving one-on-one business, but I didn't see many people face-to-face unless I went to their house. So I really want you to think about breaking down your one-on-one. Are you going to people's homes? How much is the driving time? Are you seeing people on Zoom? I personally suggest Zoom over Skype because it's HIPAA supported. Are you seeing people in a group, online or offline? So you really want to start to think about this business. Your opt-in freebies are ways for people to find you. That's it. It's that simple. And I hear on a daily basis people say, nobody is signing up for my opt-in freebie. How many of us have that issue? Drop a 1 if you have that issue. I hear that issue from a lot of coaches who also say, but I did everything right, just like Katrina. Did everything right. Don't know what I'm doing wrong. So what we're going to do through this course is help to extract your niche, your story, and these different components. So I want you to think opt-in freebies. Now, as you're thinking about this, I want you to think about the homework tonight. Really going through, or when you do it maybe tomorrow before our next, class, what are the freebies that you have? And say this, no shame. All right, we're doing this so that you're being your own business coach right now. We're doing this in a team collaborating way. So your opt-in freebies are the lead magnets. So that could be a freebie, that could be a video, it could be a masterclass, it could be a free class offline, it could be a workshop offline, it could be a make and take. Opt-in freebies, workshops, all these webinars, free talks. These are all. The list can go on as well. because there are so many different ways to bring people into what? The funnel. And the funnel just means bringing them into your list so you can communicate with them, whether you're with MailChimp, MailerLite, Aweber, or then you get into the higher level financial tag-based systems, ActiveCampaign, Entreport, Infusionsoft. So what list builders do you actually have? When you think about, people who successfully built their list, I had 15. I know it sounds crazy, and people used to think this was a marketing strategy. But if you go into my old MailChimp account, which I still have, and when I moved from MailChimp to Infusionsoft, the company moved to me had a mild heart attack because I had so many opt-in freebies. I didn't have all of them on a opt-in page. I didn't have all of them on my site. I didn't have all of them designed perfectly, but I did have them. So one is hashtag screw perfection, just let go of perfection. Number two is it's a very similar strategy, and this is one of my favorite books by Ryan Deiss, Invisible Selling Machine. It's the curiosity killed the cat. I don't always suggest that everything is on an opt-in page. Of course, if maybe you're doing a challenge or you're boosting this on Facebook or you're doing this as an ad, but under every different blog, so think of it, blog is commercial real estate. So it's real estate. That should have a call to action. How many of you, and drop drop blog in the comment section if you have gone through a blog and it's really interesting, really engaged. And at the end it says, if you really love this, click here and download my free guide on gut health, or download this amazing guide on, juicing, because you just read an article on juicing. So whether that's on an individual blog or Mind Body Green or Food Matters, you are no different. The idea is you're educating. So educate, lead to the water. Educate, lead to the water. The number one reason people do not convert in opt-in freebies is that they haven't educated enough. They haven't built trust. They expect that everyone's just going to understand the word clean eating, right? Or everyone's just going to want superfoods, or everyone's just going to want gut health. So the reason that I had different freebie topics is because I was a gut health specialist, and I realized pretty fast, and especially after working with my second coach, who was a niche coach, actually named Nisha, I realized that I was missing the problem that they were searching for. People do not search for the solution, they search for the problem on Google. If you agree, put Google in the comment. Because when you think of it, and I want you to think about the problems, and this is how I built my list with no Facebook ads to 7,000. And I only started doing Facebook ads 2 years ago for my launches. It was because when I had Rachel's Wellness, I started to realize that nobody knew what a gut specialist was. And still to this day, I don't think, with all the special K boxes that say probiotics and the probiotic fill protein bars and the probiotic everything, that people really don't know what probiotics are for and why they're vital. So I started realizing that people weren't searching unless they were autoimmune people like me, and that they were the 10%. So write this down as well. Are you part of the 10% or are you part of the 90? You're part of the 10. If you agree, drop 10% in the comments. The 10% means that you took that leap, you went the step. What is the 90% looking for? The 90% was looking for hair falling out, skin rashes, low sex drive, weight gain, inability to gain weight, dry skin, dry face, dry, brittle nails, yellowing nails, fungus on the toes. So no, I didn't have an opt-in freebie on fungus on the toes, but I started to realize that my gut clients, my cleansing clients, my clients with food allergies were looking for issues that I was not talking about. They were searching for the problem. They were searching for the symptoms that they had, not the actual solution. These are just a few that I had. I actually was about to go into MailChimp and just post them here. I had a 3-day clean eating. I also had a 3-day paleo cleanse because my system, and I always say, a signature business, and a coach said to me today, can I have 2 gateway programs that are part of a signature business? I said, yes, you can if they are part of the 3 to 4 pillars that define you, that you stand on, that you believe are part of the journey to get somebody healthy. For me, it was a little longer of a road. I did do detox. I did then go paleo. I then had to go back to detox. I did keto. I used essential oils. So all the things that were part, gut, adrenal. I wasn't a thyroid specialist, but I learned how to work on my thyroid. The things that were part of my journey, and then ending with mindset, became part of the system that I took people through. Not everyone's ready for that system. And so I realized over time, not everyone, even though detox was vital to me, this is the part of the differentiation between 27,000 to 6 figures, was that I had to start understanding the archetype of my buyer. I had to start understanding also semantics and the words that either would scare somebody or attract them. I had to hone in less on my niche and more on the message. How many of you have been focusing so much on the niche, like, oh, my niche needs this, my niche, my avatar, instead of what problem are they actually having? So I had a 3-day clean eating, paleo cleanse. I had a 21-day smoothie jumpstart. I had an essential oil cleanse because that led them in my funnel to understanding the power of essential oils, because that is still in network marketing. And I'm not a huge network marketer. I just sell, you hear this, I sell things that work for me. As a health coach entrepreneur, not a health coach, it's a health coach entrepreneur, you are selling what works for you. And if you buy something, even when I say to a coach, or they say, I bought your keto program and I'm not selling it, I always say, did you do it? Have you tried it? Is it a part of your journey? Why is it important to you? And they said, well, my husband wanted to do it and he lost 15 pounds. And I say, are you willing to talk about that? The answer sometimes is no. That person will never make money, and that person didn't. For the other person who never tried keto, and she said, I want to try this. This sounds so cool. Actually, I know 2 coaches. One, her entire business is now keto. The other one ended up making over $3,000 with a group. She said, we're going to do this together. It's fun. I had Skinny Waters. I also split tested that with a name of Detox Waters, so I could see, because in that 2nd to 3rd year, I wanted to see what actually worked. And I realized that people were also coming to me for weight loss. The big key ingredient here, I'm not a weight loss coach. If anything, I had an inability to gain weight. But what I realized was that I could separate myself and say, and this was a message to a group, and this was me declaring like who I was going to work with. I could say, you know, I work with people who want to lose weight with a completely different strategy. I didn't even say what it was. That was gut. Skinny waters are like infused waters. So I had a Gut Health 101 series. I had adrenal health, like the 8 top foods. I had foods for hormonal health. I even had Paleo Thanksgiving. I mean, I made opt-in freebies left and right. Some people you will hear say, well, people just will download free stuff. Maybe they will download and maybe they'll unsubscribe. But if people don't get to see you and know you, how are they going to fall in love with you? The health and wellness business, when it comes to branding, is about trust. Somebody does not buy a program, they actually buy you. Somebody does not, opt in, they buy you. So when you're thinking about your buyer personality, and the reason when I said, wow, maybe I should start doing do-it-yourself programs. This was way before the days of do-it-yourself programs out there. Like, guys, if somebody was creating programs back then that didn't have like the need for a copyright to stay there, I would have bought it. Because when it occurred to me that there were people who were the personality types, that A-type personality, drop an A in the comment if you know this. A-type personalities, they are the do-it-yourselfers. These can be passive income products. So also drop N in the comments if you don't have that. So as you are thinking about your business, I want you to draw a line right across the top. And I want you to put stream 1. Stream 1 could be your one-on-one, could be group, but I want you to start defining 1 through 7 as we go through this series. I want you to also, it doesn't mean you have to do everything. Trust me. This is to get you to a different level, but also to use the materials either that you have or discover the ones that you are missing to get to a different place. I started realizing that there were people that were do-it-yourselfers that needed to do it themselves, find out what I was all about, see if I was really like, talking the talk and walking the walk. And so they were the people, we know this word, if any of our people are funnel hackers, we know the word is tripwire, or just low cost program. That can be anywhere from like 7 to 17 as a tripwire, or a low cost program for a do-it-yourself as like 37 to 47. This could even be a master class. That's like the do-it-yourself. They're going to figure it out. That created one really healthy stream. I have 3 products. For many of you who are in the hormonal health, Nicole Jardim, Jardim, Nicole. She has amazing do-it-yourself products. One is on a birth control protocol to come off of that, and another one is on hormonal health. And these are entryways into what? Working with her group. So again, 1 stream, passive income. This does not mean, passive income does not mean network marketing. It means taking a program that's usually anywhere from 4 days to 14 days and having it on your site. 2nd stream, your one-on-one. Tell me if you see people face-to-face or if you see them via Zoom. Some of you might even see them in an office, or you collaborate, or you take space like I used to in my acupuncturist office, which is a great way to not only be with people, but co-collaborate, especially when we know that we have a client that needs extra support out of our scope. So you have your one-to-oneers. They work directly with you. And remember, your do-it-yourselfers can also become your one-to-oneers. So here, we have our 2nd stream. And this is exactly what I did. I had my do-it-yourself and my one-to-oneers. Then I had my groupies. How many of you know people who can't afford you one-on-one? I didn't just do groups because I thought it was great. I came out of school and everyone was like, group, 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 go, go, go. And I was petrified. I was scared. I wanted to do one-on-one. But I realized that a lot of people could not do or afford, could not afford to work with me. And so I started to create groups. And so this is when things really ended up changing for me, because the person who wanted, I call them the marathon runner. They wanted to be in a group. They wanted to have that interaction. And I actually talked to a coach today who is about to buy a program. And I said, what are you doing? She said, I am a coach for caretakers. And I said, do you work a one-on-one practice or a group? And she said, I do groups because caretakers love to share stories with each other. So she knew right away her buyer personality. She had tons of one-on-one clients, but she saw a need. Write that down. She saw a need. This doesn't come in a book. I mean, it comes in a book when you read about the psychology of marketing, but it doesn't come in a book to feel that and to genuinely think about your client. We talk about that just as people. So I want you to start thinking about where are the different streams. One, you have your one-on-one. For some of you, you don't have that. You just want to work in an online space in groups. Maybe for some of you, it's the fourth, which is a membership. Maybe for some of you, you do a network marketing. Maybe for some of you, you are selling master classes. But for me, what I started to do was just expand. I not only had moms groups, but and then I also worked at gyms. So I had sustainability, doing 4 groups a year at gyms, leading to one-on-ones. I had a 3-tier work with me on my one-on-one, which allowed the different buyer personality to say, hey, do you want to go with me to this place? Or do you need to go to this place or this place? The basic of a funnel is it's a long-lasting marriage. You want somebody to come in so that you have that first date, and then you think, where do they need to go to? So when you're thinking about your different opt-in freebies right now, I want you to think, if somebody has gut issues, are they searching for a probiotic? Probably. Are they searching for best foods, for hair loss? Probably. Would they love to attend a gut workshop or a sugar workshop? Probably. Are they looking for foods for hormonal health because they think maybe it's the hormones too? Probably. So I want you to actually think, or even a mini detox, what are the opt-in freebies or the entry points or the free workshops that you are doing that is allowing people to get to know you, allowing people to come into your entry point. For me, working offline was pivotal as well. And I talked about that earlier. I had 3 distinct workshops, and I went and spoke to acupuncturists, chiropractors, yoga studios. I did expos, because that is what it takes to get seen, get known, but to most of all, build trust. And also to get to know what people want from you. I used online, such as YouTube and Google Plus and my personal page on Facebook, to talk about my daily life. And that too is how I got clients, but it wasn't until I got clear on what people wanted from me. And people wanted weight loss, and people wanted to feel better, and they wanted for their autoimmune not to be as bad, and they wanted their gut and I started to see that I needed to let go of just, I'm a gut specialist in detox, because a lot of people were scared to detox. How many of you love detox and you love raw, but you have people that are definitely scared to go there right away? And you keep finding that people are coming to you for weight loss or sugar or, keto or some of these like other, or AIP or this or that. What I had to do, and what I encourage you to do this week, and that's why we're going to be in our forum and interactive, is to try to think, how are you different? How can you coach different? How can your system be different than somebody else's? I didn't want to focus on weight loss, but guess what? My opt-in freebies led the person who was looking for that. And once I got them on the phone and they said, well, I'm calling about weight loss, I would say, I I don't, and especially because at that time I was in a red state and I'm in an orange state, I would say, but still I don't believe in that because I did that. I did dieting. I counted calories. I did all of that. I would always say, the good news about when you work with me is you're not going to count calories. And I'm going to teach you actually how to eat with the seasons. And I'm going to teach you things like skin brushing and how to move your body and move your lymphatic system. And I'm going to teach you the foods that are going to give you energy. And at the same time, foods that are going to make your gut healthy. I'm going to teach you also how to listen to see if a food, if it makes you actually feel good or if it doesn't, because those foods that don't make you feel good just add excess weight. They add excess blah. And so I started to just convert. The key is conversion on strategy sessions, face-to-face events, because I was so crystal clear in what people wanted who were coming to me, but I was also crystal clear on where I was going to take them. I didn't have just one program, and I don't believe just in one way of eating. That never worked for me, and I never said that for anybody. I believe in teaching people how to listen to their body, but I also believe that when somebody comes to me and they want a certain way of eating, my job is to just be the way shower and let them see if that's really working for them. So an opt-in freebie, first date. Second date is your first email. Hey, thanks for downloading this. I'm downloading the sugar guide and how to kick sugar cravings. I've included 8 recipes on my favorite recipes for chocolate so you never feel deprived. I too was addicted to sugar. I too lived on chocolate, or whatever your story is. P.S. If you would like to schedule a session with me, click here. Email number 2 goes out the next day later. Maybe you give them another gift, and the PPS can be, stay tuned. Tomorrow at 8 a.m. I'm going to be giving you another gift. How many of you would open an email again? Because emails, the open rate goes down after each. But when we give them another gift, ta-da! So I always look at email strategy different than other people, because as of about 2.5 years ago, emails just, the open rates lessened. Third date, that's your third email. Maybe that's when you're actually saying, I have this opportunity. Maybe they didn't sign up for a strategy session. Maybe there is a do-it-yourself. See how all of a sudden we're creating different ways based on their personalities? Maybe there's a group that you're doing. Hey, I'm doing this great group. We're starting in January. If you want to get on the VIP list, click here. Or for those of you that have a membership. Memberships are amazing ways to, one, lessen the launch constant, but also to provide or even extended group coaching, an inexpensive way to support people. Again, all depends on not only your strategy, but it's really your personality of how you want to serve yourself in your business, but how you want to serve others. And the 4th and 5th date, same thing. It continues on how this is going to look for you. So funnel without fear. Like, don't think that it's so overwhelming. Your first date is that free workshop. It's that, it could even be a live. It could even be, hey, doing this live on this blog I just did. I'm so, I used to have gut issues, or I used to have hormonal issues, and I did a blog on XYZ. Go over and check it out. But I'm going to show you how to make this smoothie. And then you go back and you edit it, or you pop under, check out this blog. Not putting a link on your personal page like sign up. But in that blog, it has that call to action. And then you're bringing them into your funnel. Your second date, that could be a membership, or that could be a one-on-one, or a do-it-yourself, or a tripwire, the nurture sequence, the group coaching, a do-it-yourself program. Third date could be, again, it could be a shopping tour, it could be a workshop, it could even be high-ticket programs. But I will say, if you're a new coach, or you're a coach that's been trying to coach for a long time, you're not making the money, or maybe you've been to a lot of those high-ticket events and it's just not working for you, keep it simple. The goal is sustainability of a business instead of just going for this high ticket because you think everyone else is doing it. So when you get to, or you're going to, we're all going to say that, going to make 100K or more, or maybe you're at that place and you're looking to up level. I have this at 101, at one-on-one, $597 a month at 10 clients. That's 5,700. Let me just put on my glasses. 970, I can see that. 12 is 71,000. VIP days, master classes, group coaching, do-it-yourself programs. Now, again, this all comes down to how you are building your business. Maybe you don't have the time to see one-on-one clients. Maybe you're charging a quarter of that amount. And so you have to start figuring out a different place on how you're going to get more strategy sessions, how you're going to have low cost opportunities like a cooking class. So let me just, before I even go on to the next slide, give you an example that I gave and that I give all the time because people get blown away. How many of you know somebody who, if you did a 2-hour class and you gave them handouts, or even like a 4-day or a 5-day or even a 7-day, would spend $35 for 2 hours? And you hosted a workshop online or offline. Raise your hand or drop workshop in the comments. $35. And your goal was, how many of you feel that if you set a goal to get 20 people to that workshop, you could do it? That's $700. That's with sending one Dropbox, no automation. You could even do this on Eventbrite. You could keep it super duper simple. If you did that 4 times a year, that's $2,800. That's a workshop at $2,800. 4 times a year. Say we wanted to do a cooking class. How many of you know that you could theme out a really fun cooking class? You don't have to do it at your own home. I used to say to people, hey, does anyone want to host a cooking class? It will be a 3-hour cooking class. We'll make 3 entrees. I'm going to show you the simple mom way to cook, to cook meals that are healthy, super fun, and we'll have community. That was $50. How many of you would know people for $50? I did on like a Saturday. Simple and easy. And you could get 15 people into a class. That's $750. And you chose to do that 6 times a year. That's $4,500 plus the $2,800. You're at $7,300. You haven't even seen one person one-on-one. You didn't even need to have a whole setup for ClickFunnels or a whole sales funnel. You're just speaking even word of mouth, or you're speaking to people. How many of you know that you could charge maybe, let's say, $497 a month, or even half of that? Again, these are different numbers. It all comes down to the different amount of conversion. So even at this, we could easily get to 12,000 without even doing one-on-one and low cost kind of opportunities. The biggest is what? Referral and JV partners, either locally to you or making sure that you are co-collaborating online to be able to get those people to your workshops. Your freebies lead to your one-on-one, your strategy sessions, and this is where it becomes a numbers game. If at 10 a week, you're converting at a 0.03%, that's 12. You would have to see 12 people at $497 a month to be at $71,568, or 10 a week at a conversion of 1, which is 4, $22,000. See the big difference? It depends on your conversion. Your conversion depends. And this is where I started to realize the health of my business was also how I defined my work with me. 2 60-minute sessions, handouts, and email support. Would you sign up for that? Or if I said to you, hey, when you work with me, you get access to, a signature program that is either grain-free, vegan, or vegetarian. You also get access to my signature blueprint on how to restore your gut. You also get access to a detox that we will use the tools in that detox to help support you. And you actually define those almost like the side of a car. So that your conversions will also depend on your confidence. And as you, similar to what I realized as I got clear on who I was meant to work with and why, and got out there and started to do workshops locally and started to speak about what I was doing and knew my niche's pain points, because I started to discover my own. I started to have 4 do-it-yourselves a year. Well, I mean, do-it-yourselves all the time. 4 launches a year for detox. I worked at gyms. I did a mom's group, offline and online groups. I had my one-on-one business and all this, and also tripled my prices because I had to realize that I was not an imposter and that there were people who were charging so much more for services because I just felt like I was not enough. And that is a mindset issue that a lot of empaths and feelers have. So in fact, many will tell you that that 6-month model works. One of the reasons that I started to move from a single session, and this is something that Brendan Burchard teaches his high performance coaches to do, is they have a single session and you have like a single, a 2-month, and a 4-month, or single, a 1-month, and a 3-month. And that single is just a gateway, because how many of you would have clients 100% right now who would pay 100 to 150, 97 to 150 to work with you an hour? This is when my business changed. I want you to think about that. Raise your hand or drop one-on-one in there. Even if you had clients at 75, because I want you to start thinking about, even at that free event, can you convert somebody to, hey, I'm doing sessions for 75. If you have 75 and you do 20 sessions a month, that's 1,500 times 12, you're at 18,000. Many of us also don't take into account the downtime in the online markets, which is really important to set up your year to think about, when are you list building? When are you doing those fun post-Thanksgiving, like, hey, here's the 7-day like turkey trot, get the turkey gone. So then you can list build in December and come out in January, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th week with a concrete plan and a program that your people really want. Or a program. How many of you attract more non-committal people? That's your gateway program. And that's what I started to realize. I had clients who were non-committal because they had health issues, or non-committal because they were really overweight and we needed to work on a lot of mindset issues. I never did a 6-month program. I tried out one person. Ironically, I had clients who stayed with me years. So my freebies led to low-cost programs or do-it-yourselves. I would then upsell. This is where the 6-figure strategy comes in. Think about it. Sally enters into an opt-in freebie. Sally then gets an email welcoming from you, maybe even a landing page. A landing page is a nice little page that she lands on, and there's a video. Hey, Sally, I want to tell you, I struggled with, sugar issues. I really felt alone. I didn't feel sexy at all. I just felt old. Like, you're really telling your story, whatever your story is. That's what I started to do. Tell my story and not be afraid to do it. My freebies also, because remember, there were 15. The main one on my site led to my main hello, Sally. But those other ones, hey, do you have gut issues? I did too. I was completely addicted to sugar. I started to have this belly. Ugh, this is what I did to get rid. Click here. That was a freebie. That led to a low cost program. Now remember, doesn't mean you have to do all of this, but when people say to me, how did you get there? This is how I got there. It wasn't just one program where I landed 50,000. I've done that with clients, 15, 20, 50, 100, $197,000 launches. But I wouldn't say people do that right away. There are one-hit wonders. You will see them on my site, but that's not common. So I tell you that because I would never lie to you. I want to tell you the truth of what it takes behind the scenes and on the front of what you see to build a business. So each of those freebies, one freebie could even lead to, hey, you know, here's this amazing video series on family health. That was a huge topic for me because my kids were young. And so I attracted my niche, the group of people. I didn't say my niche was family health, but I had kids who were struggling because they came from autoimmune parents and they had heavy metals. And if you connect the dots, there were a lot of health issues. And so I talked about that. And so I attracted what? Groups of people who had the same issues. Unlearn, stop thinking so much about the niche and think about the problem and where you are in your life. Those freebies could lead to a do-it-yourself, you know, hey, these are 5 videos on how I, you know, shop for my family, swap out this. Even adding, like I said, one of the streams was that I did shopping tours constantly, pantry cleanouts, VIP days. So I want you to be expansive in the thought of your business, because for some of you, tech is just ruining your life and taking you down. But you can really build a business that like is fun. It's not going to be hard. Don't let anyone lie. Laptop lifestyle, you know, I don't think exists for many unless they have a team, you know, anywhere like 3 to 15,000 that's doing everything. So then freebies are the first date, you know, they're the conversation builders. Remember, that could lead to a free group. That could be engagement. That could even lead to, you know, a group that you're doing offline. They're just the gateway. Just like when you think about even a webinar, it's just the gateway. Upsells, downsells. Hey, somebody does a group, you upsell them to one-on-one. My do-it-yourselfs used to have one payment button that was do-it-yourself, and then a payment button that was a do-it-yourself plus a session with me. It always worked. Or I do the follow-up letter after and say, how is this going? Would you like to have a session with me? I know that you bought this program on gut. I know that you bought this detox. This is what I experienced. How many of you would upsell? I would, right? Truth, not everyone's right for one-on-one, and they aren't. Not everyone needs to sit for sessions and talk about what happened when they were children, or they might not be ready in this life. Not everyone's right for groups. And so that's why I want you to really think about where your people are or who you attract, and also your own personality. Let me just take some of these questions, okay? And we will be doing hot seats tomorrow through day 5. So let me just see. And again, if you have any questions, you can also pop them in the Q&A box, just so I can make sure, but I don't want you to go back and like have to retype. So let me just say, someone said, I want to do more in person right now, would like to know more about Lyme. Let me just talk also about doing more in person. When you go tonight and you fill out, you're like, what is the new funnel? That doesn't just have to be online. Remember, your freebie, and actually, let me stop sharing and show this. bear with me, into my whiteboard room. This is something I keep up here all the time for my mastermind and membership people, just so we can look and show and tell. And also, okay, so these are your lead magnets. Remember, like this could be, and I want you really to like think about this. It could be hormone. It could be gut. It could be weight loss. It could be mindset. It could be family health, sugar, disease prevention, thyroid, adrenal health, athletic performance, brain, brain. I mean, there's so many different amazing topics and niches out there. But we don't know when it comes to marketing this assumption. So the reason that I often will say, it doesn't mean that you need to put everything on like a formal page, is that marketing is this assumption. You're making an assumption that somebody is going to like that. So most often what I would do is on like the front of my website, I would bundle one. Well, let's just pretend this person has hormonal issues. They might be searching for a cleanse because they were Googling and they found out like the liver really needs to be healthy for estrogen. Or they might have gone into Vitamin Shop and was told, it's really important for you to take DIM and also do a liver cleanse or cleanse your body. So they're searching for this. They might also be told or go into Whole Foods and somebody says, or a juice place. And they're like, you should really learn to juice. It's like, it will keep the liver. Again, how many niches does this apply to? Like crazy town. They might also be looking for steps for gut repair because the work that we know from so many people, maybe they were like, we're told about Isabel Wentz, or maybe they found Donna Gates. Like, again, these are all just assumptions. Probiotics, weight loss drinks, or drink me skinny. Somebody had asked, what is that? Infused waters. How many of these could apply? Raise your hand if you feel and you know that they could apply to anything based on just the message. One could be a freebie, a workshop, a live. It could be a video series. Another one could be oils or the top foods for adrenal health. Again, they can all be intercombined. Doesn't mean that I ever said I was a hormone specialist, and I don't want to be. And I'm not a mindset coach. I think as a gut specialist, the mindset is so much a part of that. But I worked gut, detox, and food intolerances. That was really my thing. So I wouldn't deviate from taking them to what? The core, one-on-one, or the programs. I wouldn't take them to my system. I wouldn't deviate from this. And if my system, which it did, it was detox to needing to go grain-free, to then needing to go back to detox, to then needing to do elimination diets. That was a huge part of my life because I did so much allergy testing. It was all different. And then I did go keto. And then I went back to a paleo-ish. Then I went back to detox. I did all these different things, adrenal, thyroid. That was my journey. Does it mean I'm taking somebody through thyroid? No, I refer that out. Hormones refer that out. Gut, yes. Do I feel comfortable? Because that is part keto. I never even would take somebody through that. I would say, go see this keto person because that wasn't my thing. It was something that I had, but my journey was detox. It was clean eating first, get you off the junky junk, to a clean eating detox. Let's extend that if there's long lasting, history. And if detox scares you, let's start with, clean eating. Then let's go to gut. Let's see if you need to be, grain free. Let's see if there's a need for you to want to be vegetarian, vegan. Let's see if there's a need to bring in some raw. And let's see where you fall intuitively. And again, the basis of what I think as a starter doesn't mean that you need to be. I wanted to test my market with having to pay for Facebook ads. So I did 15. Starter, I think, is 3 to 4 freebies. 3 to 4 presentations, and do it yourself, you know, so that you have, and the presentation so you have a JV pitch. Yeah. So glad that that was there. Okay, let me get back to these. And oh my goodness, guys, see, I can talk forever, but everyone knows that about me. Okay, so let me just go through this, and I'm gonna go down to top. And then I promise. Yes, the whiteboard, I will take a picture of that, and I can put that right into the forum, guys. So I didn't plan on showing the whiteboard, but it was just right there. Do you need to have an email list for each of the opt-in freebies? So the key to really, like, when you want to be communicating with your list, I didn't in the beginning. I mean, total transparency, and like complete honesty, because God, like, you want to know that. I didn't do segmentation. I mean, when I was like emailing, I think really, really healthy funnels is when you're really individually communicating. But I did have individual lists for each freebie, because that is your market research. Same thing as when somebody calls me, I always say, blah, 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 blah. If any of you have called me, like talked to 15 people this week, I'm like, hey, and where'd you find me? That's why, guys, I always tell you, Google Plus, YouTube, because people always say they find me from YouTube. I do pay for Facebook ads now because Facebook has just changed significantly, but there are so many free tools. If you're not using them, even if you're an introvert, do a webinar and don't show your face and put it on YouTube. Like, there are so many ways to get your stuff out there. You don't have to, you know, overwhelm yourself. So my answer to that is, I do suggest, if you want to start with something first, let's give step one. I love bundles. I did a bundle where I had 4, and they showed everyone like what I was about. So it was like detox, essential oils, clean eating, and I would switch it up like once a year. But I think for those of you who are working social media, or maybe you have an event and stuff like that, or you're trying to get on summits or podcasts, you also want to have more, and you want to have more in your blogs. So even if you're not spending all day on social media, you want to have that on your blog. So when you do go share from Shareaholic, or maybe you're using like CoSchedule or Meet Edgar or Later, or you're directly just sharing right onto Facebook or something, you want to be able to share that picture, share healthy real estate, because Pinterest is really on the rise again. I mean, you know, it's kind of the silent child that nobody talks about, but think of how many of us, think of your own. And this is what I did when I had no money. Thought of my own kind of ways that I search for things. I search for everything on Pinterest and YouTube and Google. So where did I then post those? So I would say yes. Segment, even, because you will want to have that later and you will be really upset that you didn't. Somebody is saying, where do you locate a landing page? Would you tell us the path to a landing page and what happens once a person is reached? Can a freebie? Yes, let me show you a landing page. I'm a very visual person. Let me just think. Yeah, I'll just show you even my landing page. It's very easy to do. So a landing page, you know, in theory is really just an opt-in page. You can do it with lead pages, you could do it with ClickFunnels, or you can even do it with your own website. Mine is WordPress. Some people use Squarespace, Wix. If you click right here, now we're on a landing page. Some people call it an opt-in page, some people call it a landing page. Some people call it a sales page. Sales page is when you're selling something. Landing is an opt-in or landing page. So somebody clicks, somebody lands here, and there is a call to action, get your spot. Same thing though, if you go to start here, you're landing, there is a reason I want you to do something. I want you to click here and get started. If you don't click there and get started and you're the reading more kind type of person and you're going to figure out, or you want to figure out what it's all about, you're going to go lower. Same thing. And I wish I had Rachel's Wellness active so I could show you, but that is the basic of whether you had my site or anyone else's. The whole idea is to, one, opt in. Two, they go somewhere. They go into your email sequence, usually anywhere from a 2 to 5, depending on what you're selling. If I always say keep it at like maybe 3, I suggest, because I just feel like people get a lot of emails and then they don't open. The goal is that you want them to know your story. That's really it. You don't want them to just opt in and get this like, oh, this was really cool. You want them to know your story, identify with you, and then want to come back and really get to know you. So let me see what else. I hope that explained it. We can also show other examples of landing pages. And also for any of you that have questions, this is why you're going into the forum. Pop your questions in the forum. We're going to have pin posts in there that say, drop your questions for homework, drop your questions, for just anything, even about your business. Somebody saying, I'm in a red state and I want to create a program that addresses inflammation. Not a word I would say in a red state, unfortunately. We are not permitted unless we are registered dietitians or nutritionists, or we have the certification or the degree, let's say the degree that permits us to examine blood sugar analysis, or even work with those with diabetes. You can work with those with diabetes with lifestyle changes, but I wouldn't say the word inflammation. One of the reasons that I spoke to the Department of Health about the programs that I create was that I had found out 2 years into my business here that I was in a red state, and I didn't even know that because we had moved from a green state here. So when I spoke to them, I actually showed them my materials. And the biggest thing is that you can't talk about the amount of sugars, carbs, fats. You can't discuss nutritional information, which is really hard if you're working with somebody who has diabetes. So even our program, Sugar Repair, is all about education, referencing, per the work of, and again, this is just my suggestion. You can, and I always encourage people to do their own research. Also go into our free forum, go into the unit section where it says keeping your business safe. There's information, there's videos there. But I would really narrow it down to not using words like inflammation, and say maybe starting to really cultivate, if it feels right, guys, and this is the part, it feels right to say, I work with busy women who are extremely overwhelmed and are suffering with a mystery illness. But again, you're going to then have to cultivate your practice really about education and not diagnosis. And for some, that can be really difficult. Let me see just the questions. If you're struggling with getting one-on-one clients, who would you recommend working on another stream? I love shopping tours. I love shopping tours. I used to do a shopping tour with a program, so I would give them a 14-day, instead of just walking around with, a pantry list, we would do it off like a 14-day program. And so I felt great charging anywhere from 77 to 97. And I would have like walking around with, 20 people or 10. And it was super fun, super simple. I love that. I love cooking. I love $35 workshops, kombucha workshops, like make and takes, anything that is just really simple, gut workshops. I think a lot of people, like I said, are just very non-committal, especially if you haven't been honed in to who you really serve. And I'm not saying that just for anyone specifically who asked that question, but I think in general, when I hear things like, I just want to work with people to get them really healthy, I don't think that that really applies to anybody or makes it really clear. And one of my moderators was, we were talking about this, that the more clear you get on why you work with somebody, how you benefit them, how it relates to your story. And that was the missing link for me. It's that I didn't understand how to serve people in these different aspects to really fit their personalities and to message to them. So I would sit there and say things like, well, I'm a gut specialist who helps people to feel really better through the power of gut health and detoxing. It's like very long, very confusing. Over time, I just would say, you know what, I help people to get really, nailed down on their own healthy blueprint because it's completely confusing. Then I started to just shift that and say, I help people in this world of just mystery illness and autoimmune because I had one. And I started to just get really comfortable with letting go of this. I help people who have, because I think that's great for my bio and Mind Body Green, stuff like that. But when you're talking face to face with somebody, or even on a live, or even on a webinar, how much better does it sound if I say to you, you know what, I'm going to teach you about building a business because damn, it was hard. I did it by myself, didn't have a team, didn't have a virtual assistant, felt stressed, felt adrenal fatigued, felt overwhelmed. And I want to help you to not feel that, even though it's going to be hard compared to, I help, brand new coaches and coaches who want to be in the wellness business to build a business that is thriving and sustainable, that they love and feels in total alignment. I feel both, but I would rather have somebody be like, here is the truth. This is what's going down. Candace asking if there's a name for the shopping tour template or a kit available. No, but Mimi is actually a person who is like she's my right-hand girl, and we will definitely make one. I would say though, Candace, if you are interested, I've had a lot of coaches take the freebie that we have at yourhealthcoachbiz.com, which is a clean eating shopping tour guide. Use that. But I also, like I said, the template that I really used was to take a program. But like I said, these are the questions that we can deep dive. I really suggest you come in to the group, introduce yourself. Also tag myself at Rachel Feldman, tag at Mimi Davis, tag, I will put our team members in there, and get the questions. Like this is really like free coaching support. Start asking those questions, because for some of you, even programs are not going to be your jam. Maybe it's really taking the time, like I said, in these next 2 months to pitch to people, build a solid foundation, build up your confidence. But Candace, I have used the cleaning shopping kit, shopping tour guide, and then I actually paired it with like a 4-day, jumpstart, or a 7-day. I mean, at the time I was creating programs, so I had them all. But that also goes into the closing part of this when you do your homework. You may be taking an inventory tonight, because that's your homework, is to really take an inventory and look at your stuff. And maybe you either have been sitting, trying to write your own program, sitting on the fence going, I don't know where to start, feeling overwhelmed. Or maybe you have a ton of stuff and you don't know what to do with it. The goal is that when you take inventory, hi Celeste, when you take inventory, be honest with yourself, like really brutally honest. If my husband was in here, he'd be like, oh, my wife is so brutally honest with herself. But that's where we learn. And what I love about Katrina, who you're going to hear from on, our bonus night, is that she even talks about that. Our biggest struggles are sometimes our like wins, because we realize this isn't working. Doesn't mean we throw out the baby in the bathwater. We just have to reevaluate. Or sometimes we're like trying to run an online business when we really should be focusing foundationally in our backyard, networking. And I don't mean going to networking events, because I did not do that. I get super nervous around like in groups like that, but just networking and finding the places where we can really speak and speak comfortably about what we do. And for some of us, it's even the step before, like really just finding out who we are meant to work with and then letting that just shine. Felicia, I'm so excited. So guys, one thing you'll get to know about me is I will call all of you like, oh, I love you. And I do, because I too felt overwhelmed. My husband can tell you I cried like 15 times over MailChimp. And I said a lot of curse words too. But I just keep it real. I say it how it is. Some people don't like that. And some people do think that this like one size fits all works. I will tell it like it is. I have great people who work with me who are definitely more step by step. But I'll tell you what I did from the beginning, and we'll close with that. Is that I blogged, even though I'm dyslexic. I did a video a week. I was scared to speak in public. And so I did unlisted videos every day on YouTube. And I learned from those, and I learned how to speak. And I learned what I wanted to say. And I learned to just start speaking about the things. And I want you to think about this tonight. Try to write and do videos on the things that I Googled and that like I couldn't find. So when you're doing your inventory, think about that. I showed up on Facebook when I was the only one liking my stuff. I thought I would never make it like everyone else, like you. I felt overwhelmed. I had panic attacks daily. I said daily, I'm going back to commercial real estate. I don't even know why I'm doing this. But I started to understand that I had to also take into account like why people were coming to me. Because my first clients, they weren't coming to me for gut. Like they were coming to me for a host of different issues. And we in this world have a lot of different layered issues. It's usually not just one, but you usually will hear some common themes. And I guarantee you, those common themes mirror you. So before you analyze tonight and you feel overwhelmed and maybe you feel a little sadness or you feel just like, ah, you want to punch a pillow, just ask yourself, like, where are you right now? And what have you gone through? And, because you're your niche and you're your avatar and you really are the person that you are going to attract. So I'm excited for the next few days. And like I said, sorry, I keep putting my glasses on and off because I'm more comfortable with them off. But I'm excited the next few days for us to all get to know each other. Come in the forum, introduce yourself. You can do a live straight into the forum, post a picture. If you love your fur baby or you love, your kids, I hope you love your kids, or you want to post a picture of what you do, please. The forum is on your download page. The forum is also in your welcome letter. It says, click here, join the forum. If you have any questions, team@rachelafeldman.com. We are here to help you. Also, you can always search, and let me just show you. I think it's how to build your business, how to build your niche specific business as a health coach entrepreneur, online and offline. You can, go into Facebook and find that. But come in, like tell us, share. What do you do? Why do you do it? Who do you want to serve? Don't overthink. Don't even think about like building your funnel tonight. We're going to go steps, and don't think about a funnel. You're going to build a business you love. All right. For some of you, it's going to be different. It's going to be phase one. For other of you, it's like phase one to right to phase two. Some of you, it's going to be at the later part. But it's all good. It's all good. So let me just look. There's 2 more questions. And then we will close out with some magnesium oil tonight, some essential oils, some chamomile tea. Lisa's saying the thing I can't figure out, school doesn't teach specific issues such as detox for gut or adrenal fatigue. They teach in generality. How do you become a specialist in that niche? Does that make sense? 100%. Okay, so I did go to 4 detox schools because I was so frustrated. I could use other words, but I was so frustrated with why my kids were birthed so toxic. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand all these components because I took care of my gut, even though I had an ulcer and all those different things. I thought I had done so much. And so yes, you can go for advanced schooling. But just like I said when I was teaching yesterday, somebody said, where do you go to school for gut? I said, it's called life. Onto the school of gut hard knock lucks, hard knocks life. So for me, a lot of what I learned was in school, but I'm also a researchaholic. I would say though, I don't deviate from my specialty, meaning I'm more an intuitive gut person, food, and there are certain people that are more scientific, or they've gone to like precision nutrition or FDN, or they're functional diagnostic, or that is their background. For me, I'm more like many of you, went to person, kept getting told, we don't even know. And these were major, amazing universities and different tests. I think I totaled about 75,000 in tests. And so it was more my own research. And then going through school for me was just like, okay, now this is the next step, because I want to be able to teach people this, but I didn't teach outside of my scope. That was where a lot of collaboration came in with people, and that's where also a lot of referrals. So that's a big thing, guys, collaboration, referrals. I would go to people and say, look, these are the basics for adrenal health, because I went through that. I was given books and given that kind of stuff. But if somebody needed testing, that's where you go and that's where I went and collaborated. As far as detox, like I said, I went to different detox schools. And so I felt very comfortable. Some people go and get certified as a hormone specialist, a ketogenic, gut specialist. I mean, there's all different certifications in the world. I think most importantly is how you apply it. And I know people have all the certifications in the world, but what they are missing is what we are teaching in this video series is empathy, the ability to feel people, the ability to also to craft your business and create it not just based on a marketing strategy and an opt-in freebie, but really on what you wish was around when you were struggling. And so I encourage you, though, in the forum, if you're interested in specific schools or certifications, we have tons and tons and tons of coaches, and we can direct you. Somebody's saying, where can I find the shopping tour guide? If you go to www.yourhealthcoachbiz.com and you go into the drop down for the opt-in freebie section, you will see it. If you have any questions, again, hit us up at team@rachelalfeldman.com. And guys, everyone's got to go do their homework, chill out, chillax, drink some lemon water, chamomile, honey for the myelin sheath. Teaspoon is great. Magnesium oil on the feet, some deep breathing, and have a really amazing night or day when you're watching this. Can't wait to see you guys. Again, if you have any problems, questions that are specific that cannot be answered in the forum, team@RachelAFeldman.com. And we will see you guys later. Again, thank you so much. Can't wait to get to know you guys. And have a beautiful night. Bye, guys.